Hello, LEGO fans. Bricks Unbound here with a Building Hogwarts update. And today we're taking a look at a tower on the back section of the quad here, being Gryffindor Tower. And potentially the more exciting part, actually, is that it has a roof on it, a nice steep sloped roof on it, which has been quite the challenge to figure out. And credit actually goes to Brick Hog on Instagram because I was looking at his Hogwarts that he has built up, which is very, very good. I would definitely recommend using it or looking at it. And I use this technique, which he used for the roof of his grand staircase tower, which again, right now I don't have the top put on here. But it uses some alternating wedge plates and then just regular old rectangular plates and then ball joints behind it. Here is another section of roof that I was working on. So you can see here kind of how that works. And I've tried ball joints before because that's the best way that I could think of also to get angled in kind of multiple axes like this, where it's narrower at the top and then wider at the bottom. And my problem was it always resulted in a bunch of big gaps and things. Like here we go. There's some decent sized gaps on these towers up here. This one's a little bit better. Not terrible, but not quite what I was after. So I do want to try variations of this technique for the viaduct entrance hall tower roofs as well. But the trick that I just was too dense to think of, it's a pretty elegantly simple solution, is that you have wedge plates, and the next section down of that, you use straight plates, and then wedge plates is beside it in the section that was previously straight. And that alternates it very well and makes it almost zero gap in there. And then also at the bottom, you can see the bottom of the plates line up pretty well. Because another problem I was having, which you can kind of see here, these are pretty short sections, but like this section on the right sticks down farther than the one to the left of it, which didn't make quite as big of a difference for this tower or this roof since it has another flatter section of roof kind of around the bottom. But it was causing problems for ones that aren't designed like that. But you can see here, even from this distance, there's not much variation at all in the length of the different sections. So that was key here. Again, thank you to Brick Hog for your wonderful Hogwarts build on Instagram. And what I've done here is they're just 12 stud long sections. So 12 long wedge plate, and then a regular plate, and then wedge plates that have been separated out by a few more studs there. And that just gives a really nice curved section here. And I bet you could do something similar with different lengths of wedge plates to get slightly different angles of roof, which I do want to try for these other towers down here. And I'll need a roof for this section too. Obviously, there's going to be the divination, well, the north tower. The divination classroom's already in this one, but the north tower back on that corner, which will be kind of similar. I did the Gryffindor tower first though, because this is it's not the tallest section of the quad, but it's the one that actually comes up above the roof, so I could have a full, in this case it is a half circle. And let's walk around actually to take a look there, because the other ones, like down here, that's built into these other sections of roof, which are going to be very tricky to figure out. So I wanted to figure out a technique, trying multiple things off and on, and stumbled across this one. And the interior here is not done yet, but I'm starting to come up with a plan. So I have a lot of space in here. It's going to be a little hard to get a good angle, but I'm thinking this level here, and I'll extend out flooring into this tower here. This is where the Gryffindor common room will be. I'll probably go out to approximately here, and then I'll fill in some of these gaps back here. I'm thinking the portrait of the fat lady will be kind of in the middle of where there's just a big open space there. So you can see that, and then I'll have, all of this space here to figure out how I want to do the Gryffindor common room. And then I can probably get some spiraling stairs to go up the side of the wall here, the nice curved wall, to then have Wow, it's hard to get zoomed out far enough, but there can be a section of dorms in here, and then also a section up here. So there'll be a couple levels for dormitories in here as well, which should look pretty good. I have put in just some supports already to be holding in to set the flooring down on top of. I don't think I'm going to have it actually attached to the exterior walls really, other than maybe just on the corner slopes here. That way I can easily take it out and look at it more. And it'll be a lot easier to do that since the walls are curved. It's a little bit tricky to build things into them. Even these windows, you can see, are a little janky on how they had to be in there so that they could be recessed into the wall just a little bit. But that'll pretty much really do it for this video. So there was a slight delay on getting it out. I had a bricklink order that was missing some parts, and then also it just took me way too long to figure out how to do the roof section. I did accidentally knock the top of it off here as I was moving around. So I still need to figure out a little bit more stability for attaching the top section of it, the final point, as it were. But I'm pretty happy with how this looks. I think the Gryffindor Tower, maybe I need to shorten it by about a brick or so, but I don't want the inverted slopes here to run into this section here, so it might have to stay at this height, which is just slightly too high, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I guess I did, maybe the video's not over yet, I did realize that I had missed these little chimneys that stick out of this section of roof. I don't know how I missed those on my images of it, but I did. But now those have been added in, and it is intentional that the middle one is just slightly shorter than the other two. It looked like that's how it was set up on the actual model. So now we're actually done with this video. Please let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, and please keep coming back for more videos. Thank you for watching.